I started the junior deputy program when I came there. I started the champs program when I came there, which was there at that time. We had a problem with our champs program because our employee there wasn't quite getting it. The school board came and said, we don't want to hurt her feelings, but she's not getting across to the children. There's got to be a change there. So we made that change because the students hated the DARE program, they hated the champs program. So we had to back up, not hurt her feelings, but tell her the people are not satisfied with the school system. So we reboot and go there. We got caught 1 year into a budget crunch. That 1 year has to, you the people got to pay the taxes. Man, I wish I could give you everything you wanted, but you pay the taxes to do that. So we backed up. We only have the training one time a year. We started this the end of last year when school got out this past year. Our officer went there, he's been certified, and he'll go into the program this year, and he'll go do the champs program, he'll do the junior deputy program, what we've been doing. So we've been there for our children, we've been there for our seniors. We started the OKUR program, $6,000. Are you okay? We call so many seniors that don't have anybody to check on them every morning. We broke in their house, they've gone to the grocery store. We fixed their window, back for them because they forgot to call us, tell us they're gone. We've gone in there, we found them on the floor, been there all night long. We call the ambulance to and take them to the hospital. We're doing this for our seniors. We do the SCAMS program for them every year. We go in there and talk to those seniors about things that's going on. So we've been there for our seniors the whole time there. We've been there for our children. We started the junior deputy program with our chance program, with our Just Say No, with our summer thing at Pineland. The Georgia Sheriff spent a bunch of money up there, having a home to come to every summer. Every summer we have children, about 600 people come there every summer, and we put a camp on for them, get them ready for middle school. These are the seniors, these are the children in middle school getting ready to go there, getting ready to be our leaders for next year to teach us those things. We put a lot of money in those programs up there, and we wish you would go look at that program to see what's there for our children. We started a dive team, it costs you no money. We have underwater communication, we can talk to each other. We have cameras that we take underwater. We have a machine that we take. We've got a lot of equipment over there that costs you no money. We've got all kinds of things that we put in there. You haven't bought a car in over 7 years with taxpayers' money. We bought that money out of our drug money. He talks about he's going to continue that. I don't know which trooper he talked to, which state patrol he talked to, but I've been working 20 years with a rapport with these people to get this set up. When we first started getting little seizures, we started in there, we bought small things. Then we got better money. We got the ICE people that came on board. Then we got the DEA on board. So it's not just the state patrol. I got 3 different other agents that come in here and work on those. We work on the investigation part of that. We're working on those, and those people trust me because we've got a record with them for 20 years, and that's why we're getting the money. Last 3 years, $1.7 million has been spent on things that we need, which is cars, guns, bulletproof vests, and things of that nature that didn't cost you a dime. You have never in your tax money bought me a gun in 20 years. We've bought every gun we've ever purchased, and every deputy wears, shotguns, rifles, and everything else out of this drug money we've been doing for 20 years. So we're there to put that money in there to save you money. If I'm gone, you're going to get $1.7 million. Your taxes raised in the next 3 years because we've got to keep buying these things that come up there. We talk about extra spending, cut the cost. $981,000 I cut out of your budget in the last 3 years. I don't know what the wasteful spending is. We don't even have uniforms in our budget. We don't have a lot of things in our budget we cut out of there. We cut those out because the economy is bad and you can't pay your taxes. And so we've done that for you. We've done that because we've been able to do so. You talk about the delinquent taxes. Delinquent taxes, nobody really understands it. I don't think James does, no disrespect. He doesn't understand that either, how it goes. The commissioner came in and said he didn't have time to do it with the county manager. They called me in. We looked at a brand new law that came in. It says if Danny Harrington hadn't paid his taxes, then what we do, we send you 9 notices telling you that. And then if it goes to the point we have to sell your property, the company in Carrollton checks your title. A lawyer charges you $300 or $400 to check your title before it can be sold or before you buy money to that. They charge you $165 through the whole thing. Only person who pays that $165 is the person who is delinquent on the taxes. So me and you pay no money out of our taxes for that. No money there. We went from the news media. The delinquent taxpayer pays $120 for that article to go in the newspaper. We cut that down to $40 to save those money. Everybody who came in had to pay $13 for every delinquent thing. We cut that out completely. Everybody had to pay $11 or either $6 for a FIFO. We cut that out completely for the taxpayer that's already struggling. That thing is not costing you any money. The only person who's paying for that is the delinquent taxpayer. That money goes to Carrollton is only by the person who didn't pay their taxes. If you pay your taxes on time, Why should you pay for us to check somebody else's taxes and collect somebody else's taxes? It just isn't right. It's a legal thing that we do, and it saves you a lot of money to do that. School resource officers, we'd love to have them in there. How we set that up was the school paid for those. We had 2 people doing resource officers. The school paid for the money to do that. The school got in the crunch. They couldn't do the money. So what do? I can't make the county commissioners fund that because we were doing it for the school board. The school board wanted them there. They asked us to be there. We went and asked the board of commissioners would they do that. They said they would do that. But it's funded by those things. So those people got to work that out. I can't put the school officers in there. You can't either. It takes the board of commissioners and the board of the school people to work together to pay that bill. If they want to pay that bill, we can have one in every school. But somebody's got to foot the bill, and that's you, the taxpayer. Whether the board of commissioners pay it or the school board pays it, somebody's got to pay that on there. We talk about Lifesaver Project. We did that with drug money too. We bought all the equipment to check on our seniors that get missing. The ones that walk out of the house will wear the bracelet. We go change their battery every month. That's another program we started. We did the same thing there too. We want to continue our drug program. We're going to do that. We talk about drug court. Everybody's for drug court. We don't have anything to do with drug court. Drug court don't have anything to do with me. I go there and work drug court. We work 14 different county courts up there. But the problem that comes in with drug court is the probation officers are not out there at night checking on the drug thing. They want Reuben to do a drug test 2 times a week and check, make sure he is home, make sure he's there, make sure blows into and talks to him to see if he came up positive for using alcohol. If he does, we got to call the probation officer at home and tell them he's not there, he's there. That's not my job. My job is to check your businesses, check your homes, answer your fight calls, and be out there where we need to be needed. Probation officers need to be probation officers. Deputies need to be law enforcement officers. So that's just where we stand with that. Change gears. There ain't nobody in this room like James Woodard better than I did. His wife liked him better than I did, but other than that, I don't think anybody in here did. I hired him as a jailer. I put him as a deputy. I put him as a sergeant. I put him as a lieutenant. I put him as a captain. I put him as my chief deputy, and I told him what his things were going to be. The goals I wanted for him was he and I talked about. Those goals just didn't work out. The leadership was not there. The problems we had with my agency turned into a problem, and I had to make that decision that nobody wants to make, and I had to change that. I put him in that jail, and I put him back there to be in charge of that jail because he'd been there 17 years. When I did that, we go to the same thing. The trust, the leadership skills, and the things were not there. He made a mistake. We all make mistakes in this room. I made plenty of mistakes, and I'm sorry for the ones I've made too. He made that mistake, and it came into a situation where it affected the courts. When I got a call from Judge Little that morning, says, who put this person and got her license back? I don't know what you're talking about. Then we go to the next step. I call my courthouse to find out what happened, and they tell me what happened. Then I send my chief deputy, my chief internal affairs officer back there to find out what went wrong. Why did we take this person to get a license back? They come back and tell me the reason why is because we let her out of jail on, no, we let her out because the judge wanted to get her license before court. So that's not true. The judge just got off the phone with me and saying that she wants to know why we did this, and if it's somebody in her courtroom or somebody in her office, let her know. So that's not true. Go back and re-interview. Come back and re-interview. Said, no, that's not what I said. The probation officer said that. We'll go see the probation officer. The probation officer said, no, that's not true. He told me on Friday, the judge wanted her out to go get a license, and she said, that's not my problem. That's between you and the judge. Do what you want to do. So the next thing I know, I got a problem here. I got to discipline. That's my job. I run this thing. I got to drive this ship right or wrong or whatever's going on, and I got to look into that thing. Still in my heart, I love James Woodard. I think he's a good guy. But then he made a decision that was bad for me, bad for state court, bad for Superior Court, bad for the citizens of Troup County, because if we let a person out of jail without a bond, that had no bond on that person whatsoever, we did not get a bench warrant lift to let that person out, and we put Troup County in liability for that. I got to make that decision. Still and yet, he's been there 17 years. He's been good to me, and I like him. I let him go get another job and gave him 3 days to do that, where he would lose 17 years of his retirement. He would lose 17 years of his benefits, and he would lose his insurance. So I gave him that opportunity to do that. I don't regret doing that today. I think 17 years of employment there, you need to be able to have some benefits there. He made a mistake just like anybody in this room can do, and I let him stay there, gave him 3 days to do that. Had I terminated him that day, he would have lost that and never been able to work for Troup County, anywhere in Troup County again because of that situation. So that's not true. He talks about the certification thing. I don't want to get into this thing, but you know, the fact of the thing is, Peace Officer Standard Revocation and people there revoked his certification. They revoked it. Next thing I know, I get a letter several months down the road from an attorney in Newnan, Georgia, that wants to open records on him. When I get that information, it's like, I call Mike Dobbs, the county manager. Are we being sued for some reason here? What is this about? He tells me that he thinks that James lost his certification the first I knew about it. We send it to his lawyer. We let him have it. Next thing I know, that's his business there. But I think the simple thing boils down to, Post did give his certification back after 12 months probation and after the fact that he had a public reprimand. I just wish James would tell you the truth about this and not tell you that he didn't really know what's going on. It's just a bad situation. We all make mistakes, and I'm not persecuting him. Had I done that, I would have let him stay on with the county government. I would have done something there. A big issue we run into is bond forfeitures. You've read that in the newspaper. It's been so confusing. It takes us to the tomorrow morning to talk about bond forfeitures. They're so hard to understand. But I gave each one of you a list of these bond forfeitures that came out. That gives you where they're broken down to. We looked at those situations there. I got a list of bond forfeitures that came out that are just not, they're old bond forfeitures that during the audit comes out that 5 phase wasn't given on. One 6 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago. All of a sudden we run and get those things. Then you read in the newspaper where there's no errors in there. All of them are correct. Well, here's one right here. The guy's charged with DUI. He's charged with weaving on the wrong side of the road. He's got a $1,000 bond on one, $500 bond on one. But then when the 5 phase comes out, they want the $1,500 collected, but there's only one charge on the charge of that accusation. There's one charge for weaving. That's a $500 bond. But they want me to go collect the $1,500 bond. It's just wrong as it can be. Here's one right here that comes in. The surety is Judy Murphy. She signed the bond to make sure somebody's going to be in court. The order sent out to them says the security. The order is wrong. The security is something different. What the security is, the surety is the person who's supposed to bring him back to court, the one that signed the bond. And the court date is right here. Come see the honorable judge at state court on $1,500 at 1:30 p.m. We don't have the date on there. We got $1,500. You can't serve orders like that. You can't do that. It's improper for me to put you as citizens in Troup County government in jeopardy by serving orders of that situation. Here's another we have. There's no surety on here. They give me a 5 phase to go serve the surety, and there's no name on there to get it. And you know how much money they want me to go collect on this 5 phase? $0. And they're going to mail it to the defendant that was in court, that's supposed to have been in court, not to the surety that's supposed to bring the person to court. Here's another one here. We got the whole date wrong on there. We got the case number wrong on there. The third count is not even on the case that we was to go pick up. They just go on and on and on. This information has been given to the county. The county's looked at that. The county says, hey, when a man's dead and he was in the bonding business and he died, it's pretty much over with then. The other bondsman that died, it's pretty much over with then. You can't do anything about it. After that, there's another that went out of business there. That person went out of business. He's still in town, but he went bankrupt because we collected so much money from him, he didn't have any money to pay. But the only thing you do is, I act when somebody tells me to do that. When the solicitor tells me to go pick up his house, or go get his car, or get his firstborn child, and they identify what they want me to levy on, I go levy on that. I don't have the authority to come to your house and take anything from your house until the law gives me the permission to do so. I'm not going to lose my job and go to prison for doing something wrong. If they want to identify properties they want me to go get, I'll be glad to go get that. For the last 19 years, you've watched me. You've seen the law enforcement. I have no murders in this county that's unsolved. There's not a murder around here that's unsolved in 19 years. You check your counties beside you. You check your local agencies and see how many people have that. It's just not there. We work hard at our job. We take our job proud. We're going to continue to work hard for that too. They want to talk about Peace County like us not doing something or whatever. I cannot tell you how many times the district attorney's called me to his office and says, I've got a complaint and the GBI is going to look into it. Yes, sir, I understand. I got a complaint that says also that this has gone on. I got to turn it over to the Justice Department. Yes, sir, you go right ahead. He's looked at everything we do. This ain't no buddy system. He's not that kind of guy. He's straight as he can be. He's not going to risk his career looking to care of old Donny over here. He's not going to do that. So the records are there. Look at them. I just challenge you to look at the last 19 years and make sure you want to take a change of that. We've been here for you. This ship's going to sail no matter what kind of weather comes in. The last 19 years, we're going to do it, and we're going to continue to do it. Thank you a lot.